Hey y'all, welcome to Criminally Creative, a channel about my various creative endeavors. Today is Friday, December 20th, 2024, and this is episode 73. I'm Susan. You can find me on Ravelry as Legal Eagle and on Instagram as Criminally Creative, the number 1. I don't know why I always do that, but for some reason I want to draw the 1 when I say it, which is probably backwards for y'all when I draw it. I'm not sure. Anyway, if you are new here, I appreciate you checking me out. If you're returning, as always, I appreciate you coming back. Hopefully you will like what you see. And if you do, I'd appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, do all the things. Leave me a comment. I love to get comments. I make a point of at least hearting everyone. And I reply to most of them. Sometimes I just don't, sometimes there's not an obvious reply to make, but I appreciate all the comments. So, anyway, like I said, it's the 20th of December. It's been a little over 2 weeks since I last recorded. I'm a few days later than I planned, but, life and holiday prep and all that stuff, it just hadn't happened yet. So, I wanted to show you what I've been up to the last couple weeks, and I guess that's about it. As far as intro goes, I'm sorry, I'm scattered already. It's Friday. We'll move into hearsay. Today was my last day at work until January 6th. I am off for the next 2 weeks. So I am looking forward to enjoying the holiday and then hopefully having several days of just relaxing and crafting. Maybe I might do something about this chaos behind me. Not making any promises. I don't know. There's a list of things I could be doing around the house around that time, and I will probably do some of it, but I also want to spend some time relaxing and crafting, and I'm also still working on my 2025 plans. There will be a couple of videos towards the end of the year, first of the next year. I will do an end of December wrap up to kind of show you what I did the last part of December. And probably in that video, go ahead and talk about my 2025 plans, and then I will do a whip parade. And I plan to do those. I think I will probably not do either one of those till like the 1st, 2nd of January, but we'll see. Who knows? Anyway, otherwise in hearsay, not much else. I think since I last talked to you, I had my youngest niece's school dance performance. My mother came and she decided to spend the night in Raleigh, so she got a hotel room. So I stayed with her in the hotel that night so we could just hang out for a little bit longer. And, I work in Raleigh, so I went to work the next day. And what else? The General Assembly has adjourned sine die, which means without date. Basically, they have fully ended for 2024. They will come back in 2025 as a brand new General Assembly. So they gave us 3 weeks off. Yay. Anyway, that's about it for hearsay. Let's move on into the crafting. First up is verdicts, and I do have 2 verdicts. First up is I finally finished my 3rd litmus cowl. I was making these for my 3 nieces for Christmas. I made 2 in this colorway, and 1 in like greens and yellows. 2 of my 2 older nieces attend NC State University, and red and white with some black are their school colors. And my youngest niece is still in high school, and her high school colors are like green and gold. So I made hers in green and gold. You've seen that previously. This was the last one I was working on, and it took me longer than it should, but it is finally finished. I now need to wash all 3 of them so that I can wrap them up. But this is in Robin's Promise yarn in her Songbird base, which is a fingering weight. The pattern is Litmus Cowl, C-O-W-L-L. No, C-O-W-L, 1L. But every time I say cowl, I have to say cowl, because when I say cowl, people don't understand what I'm saying. The pattern is by Jude Harper. And like I said, it's Robin's Promise yarn in the Songbird base. And this was a mini skein set in the red, black, and gray colorways, is what I think the mini skein set is called. So that is done. And then I had 1 cross stitch verdict. I finished Mr. April. This is a monthly series that I started last year that I was going to do for my office, and then I found the Needle Art from the Heart by Wendy, monthly Quaker series, which I decided to do from my office instead. I had started this April 7th of 2023. Since you last saw it, I think I showed it to you last time, I did an additional 1,221 stitches to finish it. I did this using my kind of own conversion of fancy floss and some DMC that I just pulled from Stash in similar colors to what the pattern called for. The pattern is by Charlie's Needle, and that is an online shop, I believe, on Etsy. So I have done January through April now. I'm not in any rush, but I probably will, over the next couple of years, finish the remaining 8 and maybe give them to one set of grandkids or something. Assuming I get them finished while the grandkids are still young enough to like them. So we'll see. Who knows? So that is it for verdicts. We will move on to Court is in Session. And first up is a new knitting whip. I was talking to my daughter the other day, and she said my youngest granddaughter needed a new hat. She's outgrown all of her hats. So I said, well, a lot of times I'll make hats for all the grandkids for Christmas. I was not making them this year, but I told my daughter I could knock one out between last weekend and Christmas. So this is a hat for my youngest granddaughter. It is, the pattern I'm using is called Be Kind by Melissa Simpson. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. It's just a 3x2 rib hat, like a beanie hat that, you know, you can fold up the brim on. So I figured that way, if I'm actually making the smaller adult size, because my grandkids have big heads. I have the worst problem making hats for kids. I always seem to make them too small. Kids just have bigger heads than I imagine they're going to have. I don't know. But anyway, I figured with the ribbing, you know, it could grow with her, and, you know, she can always fold it up now, and it'll be longer as she gets a little older. Pink is her favorite color. So this, I'm using Malabrigo Rios in the magenta colorway, and started this on US 6 4mm. I'm currently on US 8 5mm needles. And I didn't tell you, I don't think, that the Litmus cows were knit on US 4 3.5mm needles, if you like to know that types of information. For knitting projects, I do have project pages for all of my knitting and crochet projects on Ravelry. Again, I'm Legal Eagle on Ravelry. For cross-stitch projects, as I talk about them, there's a link below to a Google spreadsheet that has all of my cross-stitch projects, the designer, the fabric I'm using, any notes about floss if I'm not using called for, the date I started it, and how I categorize the project by size, because some of the groups and games I play on Facebook, you need project sizes for. But anyway, so that is it for knitting projects at the moment. So we will move into cross-stitch. If you are new here, as I talk about my cross-stitch projects, I will be posting a picture of what the project will look like when it's finished. And then if it exists, there will be a picture of what it looked like the last time you saw the project. So first up is one of my Whip Go calls for December. It's in this bag by the Brass Button. Brass Button. This is Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. All of my Whip Go goals this year have been 10 hours on the project. I have done this, I've done 8 hours on this so far. Sorry, this is Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. I started this on June 10th of 2021. I'm doing it on 27 count Linda Even Weave in the Whisper colorway. I am doing the DMC, except for, I don't know if you, so I'm tilted. You see the white where I've done the windows, and there's a little bit on the top of the roof, and there's like a snow line on top of the house. That is Forbidden Fiber Snowdrift. The called for is a thread gatherer that's kind of I think has a light bit of mint. This actually has the slightest hint of blue to it. You can see maybe right up here where this ice look is. That's the same floss. This is going to be more visible once the house gets finished. This block that I'm working on, block number 4, this block also has a bunch of snowflakes, and I did 2 up here, but I've pulled them out because both DMC White and B5200, no, not B5200, White and 3865 did not show up at all. I'm going to try B5200, but I don't think it's going to be much better. So then I'm going to have to pull out, and I'm thinking of like a very, very light blue. But I also might go with, I don't know, I need to look at, pull out some floss and see if I can find something that will show up better on this fabric for just white snowflakes, but still kind of appear whitish or snowflakey. If that makes any sense. Anyway, I'm on block 4. I am only doing 9 blocks of this. The first 9 blocks, I am not going to do the very last row because 9 blocks completes the words to the song that's on this, and like one of the last blocks is New Year's, and anyway, I'm leaving off the whole last row and just doing the first 9 blocks of this. Since you've last seen it, like I said, I've done 8 hours on it this month. I have done 2,071 stitches. Markup currently says I'm at 23.6%, but that's probably not completely accurate. 1, because that's counting all 12 blocks, and 2, I have not, the thing about these patterns is so there's like 12 separate charts, each block, and it uses some of the same symbols, but for different colors from block to block. So I'm doing it block by block, and then I've got to like change the symbols, some of the symbol color assignments. And so I have not gone through all the blocks I'm doing and cleaned them up in markup to make sure it's not counting stitches that aren't really stitches, since I've had to scan the pattern. So I don't think that the 23.6 is not accurate because I'm only doing 9 of the 12 blocks, if nothing else. And it's probably not completely accurate because I have a feeling markup may be counting some stitches that aren't really stitches, since this is a scanned pattern. And I just haven't been in to clean that up. So I'm on block 4 out of 9. So that was the first Whip Go call for the month. My second Whip Go call for the month is in this bag by, Lynn X Stitch Creates. This was back when she did a quarterly bag. This was one of the quarterly bags. It's also one of my favorite bags. I love the dragonfly. Look, not dragonfly, firefly, sorry. Lightning bug, whatever you call it. I kind of interchange between lightning bug and firefly. Depends on kind of what I'm talking about and how I'm using it, I guess. I don't know. There's no logic to it, but I use both. Anyway, this is Moonlight Sampler by the Blue Flower. I started this on November 15th of 2021. I am doing it on 40 count Dove Gray by Hand Dyed by Rolanda. I've done about 6 hours of the 10 on this so far. I should have, I didn't think to take, I'm not going to take this out right now, but I have done a lot of up top, and you should see in the picture that I post of when you last saw it, it will show all of that I've done. All the new stuff I've done is right here. I have done 1,376 stitches in the 6 hours I've worked on it. I'm currently at 43.3%. And like I said, all I've done is I've done this, started on this lantern. I haven't, and it's not a chain, the hanging part of the swing. So the rope, I guess, that the swing's hanging from. Okay, so that was my 2 Whip Go projects. Kingdom of Books. This is the project this year. First of all, this is in another bag by Lynn X Stitch Creates with Ruth Bader Ginsburg on it. It has some lace right there. This is Kingdom of Books, which I bought as a kit. This is the project that I have been doing 2,000 stitches a month on this year. I started this, I bought it as a kit from a Russian company that translates, I believe, as "make it with your own hands." I've also seen somebody else's name associated with it, so I'm not sure if that name, the person's name I've seen, is the designer and it's through the Make It With Your Own Hands company, or if there were two companies, I don't know. But I started this in approximately August 31st of 2016, when I first was getting back in a cross stitch, and all I really knew at the time was 14 count Ada. And so I am using the kit fabric, the kit floss. I am doing it as called for with 3 strands for most of it. And I am stitching the entire background. I will have put a picture up of what the thing will look like when it's done. And I'm trying to get to where I can show you all of it. So this is where I am. What I did this time was up here. So now I'm going to fold it up so I can show you a little bit more better. This is what I had in the Q-snap. And I was thinking I had a little more of this done. I thought, and I got to this stopping point. And I was like, oh, I could get to that whole, this is the end of this side. And I thought, oh, if I could get that whole half done. And then I took it out of the Q-snap and saw all this, and it's like another 3,000 and some stitches. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not happening before the end of the year. I did, since you last saw it, I have done 3,541 stitches, which is obviously a lot more than the 2,000 per month that I have been aiming for this year. I was trying to get as much done this month because this project is, one thing I do know for next year, this is the project that's going to be my full coverage focus on a finish. There is another half over here that hasn't been done. Well, a little less than a half, because I am currently at 53.2% here. So the center is like the middle of this gate and everything. So my plan for next year is to finish this, which will mean that I think right now I would have to do like 2,500, maybe 2,700 stitches a month. I'm going to start out the beginning of the year trying to get at least 3,000 a month, so that as my year gets, as I get through the busy part of work this year, if I don't get the 3,000 one month, I will be a little bit ahead, hopefully. And then hopefully by late summer, I can get back to catching up again. So we will see how that goes. I may also, if there is time, do a little bit more on it this year. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, told you everything about that. Next up is in, let me get this out. This is a bag made by my friend Anne, Dazzling Dragonfly on Etsy. And it has a thing in there. This is Boreal Colors, charted by Stitches So Beautiful. The artwork is by Eder Jose Rosa. I just started this December 1st, and I am doing it this month, working on it every week as a challenge on the Stitches So Beautiful Facebook group. My goal is 500 stitches a week. I had done the first week when I last showed it to you. I did do the second week. I have not done this week's stitches yet. I need to get those done this weekend. But since you last saw it, I've done another 543 stitches. I'm just doing it on 25 count easy grid. I filled in, when you last saw it, I had like half of this black block. I finished that and worked my way over so I could get to some color that's not black, because most of this right through here is all 310. So wanted to get over here so I could go back and forth between filling in with some 310 and doing some other colors. So I've done 543 stitches since you last saw it. I'm currently at 0.9%, so almost to 1%. And that will get another 500 before Sunday, and hopefully another 500 next week sometime, so that I will at least have 2,000 stitches in that by the end of the month. It's Christmas, so I have had to have my Grinch Stanley out. And then last up is the 5 projects that I'm doing temperature stitching on. So I did decide this month to try the temperature stitching. Thank you to, I can't remember who it was that told me that the idea originated with Siska Stitches, who is a floss tuber from Belgium, I believe. After somebody had told me that, I realized that I had subscribed to her channel a little while back when I heard about her, but I had forgotten to go back and actually watch any of her videos. I subscribed to her so I could find her again, and, but anyway, so I have gone and watched a couple of her videos now, but, so she apparently originated the idea. Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter, modified the idea a little bit. And then Jessie Marie Does Stuff has modified it a little further. And I'm kind of doing what she's doing, which is I have one project. So you take the temperatures for the week. You can choose last week's temperatures. You can choose this week's forecast. You can choose temperatures from 1995 if you want to. It doesn't matter. The point of the temperatures is to sort of randomize which projects you work on and how many stitches you put into them. I am using the week's forecast. So my weeks in my head go Monday through Sunday. So every Sunday when I sit down and do my planner, because that's what I do. I'm a planner girl, and I sit down every Sunday and I do my planning for the week. I will look at the forecast temperatures for Monday through Sunday for the next week. And then you take the last digit of that temperature. So if it's like 72 degrees, you take 2. And then you assign projects to those single digit numbers. Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter, has 10 projects for 0 through 9. Jessie Marie Does Stuff modification is 1 project for 2 numbers. So 0, 1 is 1 project, 2, 3 is another project, 4, 5, etc. That is what I'm doing so that I only have 5 projects that I rotate through. Because in my head, that gets them worked on a little more often. And then when I have done 2,000 stitches on a project, I will rotate it off and something else will rotate in. I am enjoying it, so I am planning to at least start the year continuing to do this. It is one of those things that right now I'm able to get it in, but I have a feeling it might drop off during some of the year when work gets busy, but that's fine. It might be one of those things that comes and goes for me. So anyway, let me show you what I've worked on. My 01 project is in this bag, which is also Lynn X Stitch Creates. And this is a Tasket by Rosewood Manor. I am stitching, started this on May 1st of 2022. And I am stitching it on 36 count Bestitch Me in Not Another Sampler with the called for Week Style Works floss. 2/2. I forget to tell you things like whether I'm doing 1/2 or 2/2. Again, that's information that is usually in my spreadsheet that's linked below. So if I don't tell you and you really want to know, feel free to ask me in a comment or an email or a message on Instagram. But you also can go to the spreadsheet and it will probably tell you that in the notes portion. I think I told you 36 count Bestitch Me fabric in the Not Another Sampler color. Since you've last seen it, I did another 318 stitches, largely in this border here going down. I also have started a little bit up here, this part of the border. I am currently at 25.8%. I wanted to show you this. This is a pattern. I don't know if you can tell. Let me show you the floss, because that will make it, probably make it a little easier to understand. There are a lot of shades of blues and gray in this. So as you can see, blues, grays, there's another blue. There's yet another blue. There's 2 or 3 grays. So, which creates a beautiful pattern that's very subtle in appearance, but also means there's a lot of color changes, and it's not something that you can easily, I like to put a color on my needle and finish that thread wherever the color takes me. It's hard to do with this pattern unless you're just really good at counting. So, because of that, I have this little thing, flip it over here, that I bought online somewhere. And basically, you probably can't read my handwriting, but I took a Sharpie and I've labeled colors. And I don't have a needle for every color, but basically I will, if I have floss left over after working on a motif and there's no easy way to use it, I'll stick it in there so that I can just pull it up next and not have to constantly be threading and rethreading my needle. So, hope that makes sense. I can't remember. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Put my glasses on. It's on the back of it. Designs from Margaret Lee. MargaretLee.com. MargaretLee.com. If you are interested in that. And it's called a, I can't read what it's called. Needle Park Avenue. So if you're a Monopoly player, it'd be right on theme. Speaking of Monopoly, Jen the Caffeinated Crafter also does the Monopoly, and I think several people play along. That, I want to play that, but I don't want to play that. I, for one, am trying with my goals for 2025 because I know odd number years are much busier for me at work than even number years. So my work schedule will be much more erratic and longer hours next year. So I do not want so many goals that I'm struggling to meet them every month. Excuse me. Excuse me. So I'm going to skip Monopoly this time. Although part of me wants to play it, but I'm not going to do it right now. Anyway, next up, my 2-3 project for temperature stitching is in this bag. I think this is brass button. Yes, the brass button. This is Blue Ridge, which is a smaller full coverage piece. And if I don't ever say it, my full coverages, unless I say otherwise, my full coverages are on 25 count, usually on easy grid. Some of my older ones I'm hand gridding. But they're still 25 count, 1/1 full cross is my preference. I've got a string back there. I have a thread back there I didn't realize I had. I bet you there was a needle on that at some point. Oh, no, there's the needle. Okay. The thread came out of the needle. Like I said, this is Blue Ridge. This was charted by crossstitch.com. I started this on May 28th of 2022. This is based on artwork by Derek McCrae. And here's where I am. Since you last saw this, I've just done another 118 stitches, and I'm currently at 9.6%. I forgot to mention my temperature goals are 100 stitches for each day that number is called. So like if there's, like this is for numbers 2 and 3. So if there's a 72, a 63, if there's 3 days that end in a 2 or 3, the forecast temperature, then that's 300 stitches. So this one has only had 100 stitches since I last showed it to you. But like I said, I have not done this week's stitching yet. So no, I'm sorry, I take that back. I have done this week's stitching on the temperature stitching. Pardon me. I haven't done this week's stitching on the boreal colors. The 4-5 is in this bag by the Brass Button. A lot of Brass Button bags. And this is Cardinal Points, which is a pattern by Long Dog Samplers, but it is not available on the Long Dog Samplers website. It was done in a collaboration with the Gentle Arts threads. So it was designed in Gentle Arts threads. I think I got mine from Traditional Stitches. Is that right? I'm not sure about that. it is a paper pattern only that you may still be, this was several years ago that it was done. So I'm not sure exactly where it is available at the moment, if it is available. But I started this on March 8th of 2022, which was at least 2 years after this was originally done. I was just able to find it still. I think I have got it from Traditional Stitches, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I am doing this on 36 count white with the called for Gentle Arch thread. Since you last saw it, I have done 358 stitches, and I'm currently at 18.9%. So what I've done since last time is I finished filling in around this dragonfly up here, and I've carried the border down further down, and I've also done a little bit more border here. So that is where that stands. Next up, in the 6-7 spot, I moved this to a new bag. It was in a llama bag, which did not suit it. So I moved it to this Whip It Up bag that I showed you. I'm not sure if it was last time or time before last that was new, that I had just gotten. This is Sleepy Hollow by Glendon Place. I started this on January 8th of 2022. I am doing it on 28 count Picture This Plus, not in the Nocturne colorway. This design was charted in Anchor Floss, and I am doing it in Anchor Floss. I bought the Anchor Floss on the spools when they were available at Michael's and Joann's. I don't believe they are anymore. I have taken it off the spools and put it on floss drops, though. So this is where it is. I did 525 stitches since you've last seen it, mainly in the cape behind him. I also did a little bit of the chronic around the saddle. I don't know if I can get the sparkle to show right around here. And there's the word is escaping me. I haven't ridden a horse a long time. Stirrup. There's a stirrup that also has the chronic. So I am currently at 36.5% on this. I need to get back to working some on that border as I go, because if not, that's going to be the last thing left, and I'm going to hate life trying to do nothing but border. Because there's also a portion below the picture that has words and stuff, because it says, "In a grave lies the horseman, his head is at his side. Be brave enough to take it, and again by night he will ride." So and then last, for numbers 8 and 9, is in this brass button bag with the Grinch on it. And this is Winter White Santa by Mirabilia. I started this January 15th of 2022. I'm doing this on 32 count Little Dove by XJU Design. Get it facing the right way. And here's where I am. All that white up there is his beard. I have done, since you last saw it, 218 stitches. I'm currently at 15.5%. I have spent some time this week. I have rescanned, now that I am better at markup, I have rescanned most of my Mirabilia so that I can get them in markup, and I've been working on setting them up in markup and getting them, because the Mirabilia patterns are so big, I have to scan in chunks. And when I scanned in chunks the first time, I was doing them in GoodNotes, so it didn't really matter if it wasn't even, like, if I scanned the top part of the page in 2/3 of the page and then 1/3 of the page, it didn't matter. But in markup, if I want to be able to view the whole picture, I need to be able to make them even so that it will merge into one picture. with a scan. Anyway, so I spent a good bit of time this week rescanning and doing a markup and cleaning up, because a lot of times when you scan, sometimes, again with these charts, because they're so big, it's on that beigey paper, which doesn't always scan clear. And of course, it's been folded 5 different ways, and so where there's fold lines, you sometimes get a little bit of kind of static in the scanning, and so markup will sometimes read that as a stitch when it's not. So I've been scanning and atoming and going in and cleaning up and like telling the markup that that is not a stitch where there's things like that and stuff, so that I could get accurate stitch counts. So as I go forward, I have a better idea of how many more stitches are left and that sort of stuff, because I like to know those things. The other thing is I'm having to do as a result of that, since I've done a lot of these in Good Notes, is I'm having to then go in and mark up what I have already stitched and get that right. So anyway, that is all of my stitching so far this month. On the docket, excuse me, I have 2 more hours to do on Christmas at Hawkrun Hollow. I have, I think, 4 more hours to do on Moonlight Sampler to finish my Whip Go goals. I still need to do my 600 stitches on Anzac, and I would still like to get, I need to get at least 400, if not hopefully 1,000 stitches on Away We Ride, because that is my quarterly Halloween project that I have not touched yet this month. I'm hoping I will have time to do all that. I will not really stitch Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because we will be leaving Monday to go down to South Carolina to my daughter's for Christmas. We're actually staying with some good friends of ours. So I need to look if I can. I might either start a Mill Hill just to have something easy to stitch on, or I might just start another knitting project, some socks or something, so I can have, I won't have a lot of crafting time, because, you know, when we're over at my daughter's house, my son and his family have driven up, and they just got there today. So that's, you know, 4 adults, 2 adults counting, so 6 adults counting us, 4 grandkids at a minimum, not counting any other grandparents or aunts, uncles, cousins that come over. So when we are at my daughter's house, there will not be crafting, because there's just too much chaos. And I might, if I do any, it will be a little bit at night at our friend's house that we're staying at. We have some very good friends that live near my daughter, who all of their kids live in the area, so they don't need to stay at their house. Excuse me, itchy nose. So they basically let us use their house as a hotel room, and then we get to decompress a little bit with them at night. So, so there won't be a lot of cross-stitching or crafting at all, really, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But I'm hoping that in the additional week after Christmas, before the new year, that I will be able to knock the rest of those goals out. And I'll do a little bit more this weekend, but also this weekend I need to make ginger snaps and butter pecan cookies and sausage balls, and I might make a chocolate pie. I haven't decided yet. I also am planning to start Log Cabin Christmas by Little House Needleworks. Excuse me. Sometime next week. I'm thinking we are coming back home Christmas Day, probably night. I don't know. If we get home Christmas Day by, you know, say 7 o'clock at night, I may start it that night. If we don't get back till a lot later, I might start it. I'll probably start it on the 26th. So, anyway, so that is on the docket. Calendar, the only 2 things I have planned are the Stitch and Thrift Retreat in Lexington, South Carolina, the January 17th, 18th, whatever the weekend before Martin Luther King Day is. And then the Barefoot Needle Arts Retreat the first weekend of February in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And that is probably all of the crafting plans I will make for now. Like, again, as I've said several times, work is going to be busy in the spring. So any crafting plans and stuff that happen will be a little more spur of the moment, or with a shorter planning time when I realize I can do it. So that leaves stashing for retirement. I did buy several things online that I'm going to show pictures of as I talk, and then I do have a few things that are physical that I want to show you. One is very exciting to me, at least. So, online patterns. I bought Jessie Marie Does Stuff, tempted me too much. I don't know when I'm going to start, but she kept showing this pattern that she started, and I loved it. And I went and looked it up, and of course, I found 2 other patterns I had to have also. But the designer is Nara X Stitch. She is on Etsy, or Nara, Nara. I will try. I know sometimes I say I'll link something below and then I forget. And when that happens, I apologize. If you really need to know and I forgot to link it, please leave me a comment, email me, message me. I'll be glad to give you the information if I forgot to provide it. But Nara X Stitch on Etsy, and I got, and I'll put a picture up as I talk about these. I got Autumn Village. I got Winter Village. And I got Christmas City. Now, those are the names that I am calling them. Her website, I can't remember where she's from, if she was Ukraine, Russian, somewhere like that. Her patterns are one of those where they've got, like, you know, descriptive words for them. It's not really a name of the pattern. So those are my names for them based on some of the words that are in their descriptors. I also got 2 patterns from Love Poppet. The first one is one that I saw last year around Christmas time, and I don't remember who. Somebody on Flosstube or Instagram was stitching on it and posted a picture of it, and I loved it, and I had put it on my list of patterns I want, because at the beginning of last year I was trying to, like, not buy everything I saw. Anyway, something made me think of it again this year, and I thought, you know, I really do want that. I want to go get it. So I went over to their website to get it, and of course I saw another pattern that I wanted as well. But the one that I saw last year that had been on my list is called Driving Home for Christmas, and I just think it's really cute. You know, the little car and all that stuff. And then the one that I also found while I was there is, of course, a Halloween pattern, because I love Halloween patterns, and it's called Night Riders. So I really like that one. And then Mama Loves You GB was having a sale, and so I bought a couple more of her owls. I got Herbert, and I got Ramsay. Well, it's spelled Ramsay, but I say Ramsey. I would just spell it. It's spelled R-A-M-S-A-Y. I would spell it R-A-M-S-E-Y and say Ramsey. So I don't know with the second A if it's Ramsay. Like it looks, or if it's still Ramsey and that's just the British spelling, because, you know, they stick a U in words like color and stuff, so who knows. If you're from the UK, I'm just teasing you. So and then patterns that I have again had on my list that I've known I wanted for a while, and I'd kind of do this at the end of the year. I think, oh, I'm going to be better about spending money in the new year, so I need to get everything I want right now. Robin Pickens, her Seasonal Couriers series, which is available on her website in PDF. And they are Blackbird's Autumn, Cardinal's Winter, Robin's Spring, and Blue Jay's Summer. I think the autumn and the winter are my favorite. Of course, autumn and winter are my favorite of the 4 seasons anyway, so that's probably why. And then last digital pattern, Carolyn Manning is doing a stitch along in 2025 called the Baubles, B-A-U-B-L-E-S, Snowflakes stitch along. And it's going to be, I think it's 3 every month. So I think it's 36 patterns, and I think it was like $8, maybe $11. It was very reasonable for the number of patterns you're getting. I am not planning January. If you sign up now, you go ahead and get January's 3 patterns. They're really cute. I am not going to do them as a stitch along, trying to keep up with them and everything. I do right now plan to kind of probably do a couple of them sometime next year's Christmas ornaments, but I'm not in any rush. I basically just thought it was a great deal, and the ones that I could see were really cute, so it was just one of those things that I wanted to have. So that is it for my digital patterns, but that's not it for stashing for retirement. So here's the physical stuff. Okay, we'll start with the couple of fabric clubs. I am, unfortunately, I am putting both of these on pause for 2025. I have already paused them. One I will be getting January already because it's a month behind in paying, so I've already paid for January. But first up is, now this is the December, this is Be Stitch Me's December neutral fabric, which I just got this week. So if you have not received your December fabric from Be Stitch Me and you don't want to be spoiled, I will tell you the colorway name because I don't think it's a neutral, and it's called Vintage. So I don't, if you're in the neutrals, you know that they all tend to be somewhat of a theme. So I get 40 count. So I will not describe it in color, but it's very pretty. So again, that is the last Be Stitch Me I will get for a while because I have paused that. Because I'm not rampantly starting things left and right, I'm just not using the fabric as fast as I'm getting it, and I need to step back for a little bit and use some of what I got before I start accumulating more. I say that, and then I ordered 3 pieces of fabric yesterday, but there's a purpose. There's a reason for that. So, next up is the Oak Crown December colorway. Again, I just got this week. The color is called Winter Solstice. I get 32 count Lugana in this. And that is really pretty. It's got some blues and purples. That's probably pretty good. You might see this again soon. I'll tell you why in a minute. But it also has something to do with the fabric that I just ordered. Sorry. But like I said, I have also paused this one for 2025, other than what I just paid for in December is actually January's fabric. So I still will get January's fabric, but then I have paused it. Stitch New England had her 12 Days of Christmas sale, where every day you got the email and there were certain designers or certain things that were on sale that day. And you could, and they were on sale only that day, and you could put them in your cart, pay for them for that day, but mark it as pickup, and she would hold it till the end of the 12 days of Christmas and ship it all to you at once. And of course, if you buy $50 or more with her, she ships it for free. So, and you could accumulate. So you could buy like $10 this day and $12 that day and get to $50 that way. So, so I bought a few things a couple of days. One day she had primitive hair on sale. So I got, let me take this off so I can show you. I got this piece of primitive hair fabric. It's 30 count, called Wicked Woods. And I will try to show you what it looks like. But if I can't show you well, I'll put a picture in. But I think I can. It's been folded up, and I need to take it out. So this is printed fabric. So it's not washable afterwards. Sorry. So you see the pumpkin in the kind of fall. And the sad thing is, when I ordered this, I had an idea what I would do on it, and now I can't remember. But as many Halloween patterns as I do, I'm sure that I will find something to do on it. Or maybe the idea will come back to me at some point. Also, on the day Primitive Hair was on sale, I ordered Spooky Countdown. This is an older pattern from, I think, 2013. I think I'm not sure if I will do all of them. I bought it because I really like the idea of doing some of them as little smalls. If I do all of them, I probably would like to do them separate, kind of like the display on the left where it has the little pillows. But you can also do, I don't know, the picture on the front of this is not that great. Just the one on the right is just done all on one piece of fabric. But, and the fabric they did it on is Old Salem linen by the Primitive Hair. But anyway, so I just thought that was cute for little smalls and stuff like that. When Blackbird Designs was on sale, I bought When the Leaves Fall, which is one that I did not have. I like this one. which seems to be kind of the focus piece, I guess, for this one. But I also really like this one, which is called Moonlight Garden. So, those two are probably the most likely ones for me to do, but there are several others. Like, I really like this small little pumpkin, kind of long one. That would be cute. I like all of them. Oh, the squirrel is really cute. I might do the squirrel. I'm trying to find the picture that I can show you that doesn't show the chart. So the little squirrel is cute. And then I got Hands-On Designs Gather Pine Cones, which is from her Gather Round series, the winter. I have not bought any of the others of these, just because, I mean, they're cute, but they haven't really drawn my eye, but I really did like the log cabin on this one particularly. And I also kind of like the quilt square on that one, but this is the one in particular that I really liked, so I got that one. From Barefoot Needle Arts, I got Plum Street Salem Sampler. You knew I had to have it. I love her Rhode Island samplers. So far, the only one I've started is the Equality Sampler, but I have all of her Rhode Island style samplers, and add Halloween, and of course I'm in. And then the other one was the Salem Mini Moon, which I also got from Plum Street. And then I had placed a 1, 2, 3 stitch order for some floss that I needed. And of course, you know, I can't just order floss. So I ordered this pattern I had on my wish list, which is also from Plum Street, called a Ghoul Tide Welcome. Sorry for the glare. I didn't want to take them out of the... This is an older pattern from 2014. So, and then the big one, for me at least. So I bought myself a Christmas present. This was the... Mirabilia is a hit or miss kind of thing for me. I love a lot of them. There's others that I'm just kind of There's been very few that I'm like, oh my God, I absolutely have to have it. One was Lady of the Flag, which I have. I would really like to have Queen of Freedom, but it's not a, oh my God, I've got to have it. You know, if I came across it at a decent price, or where I was making a donation to charity to buy it, I would probably at least make a bid, but I'm not like, it's not a must-have. This was my other unicorn, my other must-have, and a lot of people have stitched it lately, but you know, everybody already had somebody they were giving their pattern to, and for some reason the other day, somebody talked about it, and I thought, well, and periodically I checked eBay. Let me just check eBay today, and there was one that was posted as buy it now. Now, it was more than the cover price. It was not cheap. It was not inexpensive. But it was buy it now for what I have seen on eBay is basically kind of the going price that's not the gouge your eyes out price, if that makes any sense. Anyway, long story short, I bought myself Touching the Autumn Sky for my Christmas present to myself. So this will be my new year, new start, for sure. The fabric I just ordered from Stitch New England, I ordered 3 pieces. One piece is just because I wanted it, it's 40 count. The other 2 pieces are possible fabric for this. I have not decided yet if I want to do this light blue sky, or if I want something a little more autumny feeling that's not just blue sky. This fabric, sorry, stuff is sliding. This Winter Solstice that I just got from Oak Crown with the purples is a contender. The floss I just ordered from 1, 2, 3 Stitch was the colors I didn't have that I needed for this. So I need to pull out the floss and lay it on this. But I'm waiting for the fabric that Pam from Stitch New England just shipped to me so that I can, and I have a couple more in stash that I'm considering. This is one of those patterns that I want the fabric that I look with and go, yeah, that's it. So, And of course, I love blue, so if I have extra blue fabrics, not the end of the world, I use them. But I'm also looking at a couple that aren't necessarily blue, that are more just kind of like, not folly colors, but kind of a, I don't know, an interesting sky look. I don't know any other way to say it. So anyway, so that was my last, at least so far, Mirabelle unicorn that I absolutely had to have. And no, I do not know yet what I'm going to do when I'm done with it. You know, please don't ask at this point. I don't know how long it's going to take me to stitch it, because I'm not a monogamous stitcher. It's not a huge pattern as far as stitch count goes. I don't know yet if I'm going to part with it when I'm done. So, but anyway, so that is my, like I said, that was, it was not inexpensive, but it was within the realm of what I mentally was prepared to pay. And I decided that was my Christmas present to myself. Anyway, so I think that is it. I'm now just about to an hour. So, like I said earlier, I do plan to do a end of December wrap up, probably with 2025 plans, and then a separate video that will be my whip parade. Those will probably come right around the first of the year. They may come like back to back, so in which case one will be somewhat a little bit duplicative. The end of December wrap up will show you some stuff that you will also see in the whip parade, but who knows, there might be another finish before then, although I don't know. I guess I've got one thing that could possibly be finished, but it would take a lot of effort, so it's probably not going to happen. Anyway, I'm babbling now. If you celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. If you celebrate Hanukkah, I hope you have a wonderful Hanukkah. What else is this time of year? Kwanzaa? When did Kwanzaa start? Has Kwanzaa started? I'm sorry, I don't know. Whatever you celebrate, if you celebrate anything, I hope it's wonderful. If you celebrate no holiday right now, but you're getting some time off work anyway, I hope you enjoy it. And I will see you probably in 2025, maybe the 30th or 31st, but I think it will probably be more like the 1st or 2nd of January. And I guess that's it. I'm rambling now, so I will go and take care, everyone, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, y'all.